The education must reflect the level of responsibility. So passion is not enough. The biggest gap is always inconsistency. They can actually realize that they are not alone, either in their country or in their region in this field.
Welcome to MemberFix Radio. My guest today is Věra Lantelme-Faisan, president of the HETI Federation. Vera's professional background is in equine-assisted physiotherapy in the Czech Republic, and her bio highlights more than 30 years of international collaboration, developing and teaching international courses, organizing events, building networks, and leading large projects in this space.
So thank you for inviting me for this podcast. As you already said, I'm a physiotherapist, pediatric, so it means that I specialized for the children with movement disorders, and one of my specialty is equine assisted physiotherapy. I'm also lecturer, so I teach hippotherapy or equine assisted physiotherapy around the world. And currently I'm president of HETI, what it stands for the Federation of Horses in Education and Therapy International. We are non-for-profit organization, international, and we connect practitioners and organizations in equine assisted services. So we focus on research, practice, ethical standards, and international collaboration.
Thank you for that. You come from equine-assisted physiotherapy, as we mentioned, and have built a career around international collaboration. What was the personal moment or professional turning point that pulled you into this kind of work?
So my personal experience was showing how the horse movement is very powerful. I could see the impact, the positive effect on children with neurological challenges. And then why I turned globally? Because I start to understand and see how in different countries are different level of training for practitioners, different standards, and different terminology. So I understand that if there will be connection and we start to speak or express our practice the same way, the whole field equine assisted services can grow up and can be recognized.
Hmm. So the equine-assisted services can mean different things in different countries, different terminology, training pathways, and different expectations. When you're explaining HETI's role to a practitioner or stakeholder for the first time, how do you describe what's good practice and shared standards and how they actually look like without it feeling bureaucratic?
So good practice is actually simple to explain. It means that the practitioner needs to be properly trained. The equine needs to be carefully selected, prepared, and also cared for. Any client should have measurable goals, and the safety and ethics should always come first. And the shared standards, it's not about bureaucracy, it's about trust. So for instance, if a family is searching this service and coming, for instance, to Portugal or Poland or to Canada, they should receive the same level of professionalism and responsibility. This consistency builds credibility.
Mhm. And as president, you get a unique view of what's changing in the equine assisted services world. What's one development or an evidence shift, an ethics milestone, or a story from the community that still gives you goosebumps because it shows that the field is growing and maturing?
But really thrilled about the international cooperation of the practitioners, that there is the willingness to put aside the ego and start to cooperate. And what is also very significant, that the research and practice are eventually connecting. In the history, there was so many beautiful practitioners with very great clinical skills, but they were lacking research. But now, actually, with all even the technology, the new technology actually help us to measure the outcomes, the results, because it's not easy in equine assisted services to really measure the real outcomes. And also I can see that the researchers and the practitioners more cooperate and connect. So this is very much important. And also another signs of maturity of our field, that the practitioners are really demanding the evidence. They want ethical clarity. And so this shows responsible growth.
Mhm. So for sure, as you say, the field is growing and maturing, and hopefully that's good for you. But where do you see the biggest trust gaps today? Public perception, inconsistent training, animal welfare considerations, safety, research quality, and what would be one practical principle that you wish that every program followed across countries?
Yeah, the biggest gap is always inconsistency. So different training levels, different requirements for competency and demands for ethics and safety. It's also about the culture because, as you said, we have members from more than 45 countries, and I truly believe that it will increase the number. And the culture, how we deal with animals, and what is safety, maybe what is dangerous for me, it's not dangerous for you. So this we need to level up some basics in this field. And also equine welfare is a big task to really consider equine that it's sentient being. It's not our tool. It's not our way how to improve one's health, but it's our partner. So if one sentence, it's like the professional competence must match the client complexity. So it means that if anyone is working with a client who has some complex psychological or neurological challenge, the education must reflect the level of responsibility. So passion is not enough, and the good intentions are not enough. The competencies build the trust.
And from a mission and impact standpoint,
Mm.
what does the ideal journey look like for an organization engaging with you? So from discovering you to joining to actively participating in your networks, your webinars, congresses, and to becoming a stronger and more credible provider.
Okay. So I hope that we start to be quite visible. So the prospective member can find us online or via internet, or can through some conferences, and then become member. He will start to, or he can watch webinars, read our scientific journal or Global Gallop, what is international newsletter, and then maybe can join our task forces, what are specialized group of HETI members that they work on certain topics that's needed, that is also requested by the members, and they start to collaborate on with the international colleagues. And what it can bring them, that maybe we say that they don't need to invent the wheel in their country, because they already can bring the knowledge and expertise from the colleagues internationally. I think, and this is huge. This is huge help and relief. And also they can actually realize that they are not alone, either in their country or in their region in this field.
So HETI supports international networks that meet regularly online and in person. So what does a healthy international network look like in practice? What needs to be true for collaboration to work across different regulations, cultures, clinical traditions? And I'm sure that's a nightmare of its own, but I'd like to hear about it.
Yeah, we have currently 4 networks. One is from Latin America, so it's for people speaking Spanish mainly, and also Portuguese. Then we have one network for Asia Pacific. The oldest network is European Network for Equine Assisted Therapy. And now we are creating the fourth network that it will be for Balkan region, Balkan countries. And the ideal network, it's a healthy international network, is about it. It's respectful and also curious. So people listen, people share, and people, they don't compete. So people support each other, they collaborate. And this is wonderful because it's happening in reality there. So there must be the mutual respect, the clear communication, and also shared ethical values. So systems can be different, as we were saying, different cultures, different systems. The regulations in countries can be different, but the values has to be aligned.
And on the operations and tech side, so for a global organization, your delivery can get messy sometimes, as we all know it. You have member portals, event logistics, webinar registrations, journals, knowledge sharing via forums, groups, etc.
Mhm.
So, what's been the most painful or expensive mistake you've made in building your online delivery or member experience? And most importantly, what would you do differently if you were starting from scratch today?
HETI history is for 50 years. And of course, the online world is maybe 10 years ago. And it started slowly. And also, it's always about the people who are leading the organization, how they are not afraid of the technology, going forward. So I think with HETI, we were quite okay with it. We were not very forwarded, but I think we underestimate that how much we want to do it, and then we don't have proper structure for this one. So we are currently facing it because exactly what you were saying, the enrolling in online webinars, adding some international events, and also communicating across time zones. It's a big challenge for us. And the biggest challenge for us is the underestimating, this we really underestimated, is the language barrier. Because HETI always was communicating in English, and was like general consideration that everybody understands English, but it's not true. English is not the widely spoken language. So currently we are implying a post of ambassadors for the region and in their native language. And then we also will, our goal is to create or to implement, to start to use some application for communication. Because as we are international, we challenge that, for instance, not all applications are approved in the certain countries. Google is not, YouTube is not accepted everywhere.
Correct. Correct.
So this is a huge challenge for us if we really want to reach all our members, even the prospective members, to find applications that they are acceptable, politically acceptable to all countries.
And when you think about the next 3 to 5 years for HETI and the global EAS field, what are you most excited about and what worries you the most?
So I'm most excited about that the research will really will be growing and will give us very, very clear outcome measures that our field will be internationally recognized. And also we need clearer professional pathways. What is not, it's complicated in a lot of countries. There is no education at all, or the education is not good quality. They don't have access. But now the online technologies, it's wonderful. You can teach online, and also with all the tools, you can also again diminish the language barriers because you have a lot of avatars. It helps a lot. And also I'm looking forward for the deeper international cooperation. And what worries me the most is the uncontrolled growth without standards. Because if the field grows faster than education and ethical frameworks, we risk losing credibility. So we support the growth, but it has to be aligned with the responsibility.
And I do have one more question for you, Vera. If you could put one short message and hand it to every practitioner, new or old, considering if they're considering equine assisted services, what would the message say?
I would say just contact the provider and ask them about their qualification. This is very important because always choose a program that respects clients and the equine. This tells you a lot. So the trust must be built on competency and care. Easy. Ask for qualification always.
Vera, thank you for this amazing episode. Bye bye.
Thank you, Risto.